Good morning, everybody. Dawn of dusk here. Well, yesterday as I was leaving work, I was kind of saying goodbye to my coworkers and mentioned how I'd see them tomorrow. And one of my coworkers said, "Wait a minute, you're not going to see me tomorrow." I said, "What do you mean I won't see you tomorrow?" And they said, "Well, we're closed tomorrow. We're off." Kind of got me to thinking that, I mean, I know I've been very busy this week, and I really haven't had a chance to check the schedule, but I think I might like my job a little bit too much when we have a day off and I don't even notice. It's my first year with the company on Good Friday. Well, at least working full-time. I've been with them a couple of years, but not full-time. So it's kind of a pleasant surprise. So you can see it's a beautiful, warm, sunny day here in Central Florida. And I figured what better thing to do on an unexpected day off than hop on the old bike and go for a little ride. Absolutely beautiful out. Maybe about, I don't know, I'm guessing it's somewhere in the low 70s. Probably tack on another 10 degrees before the day is out. So what I want to talk about today, something that's been on my mind quite a bit lately, is Florida driving. I moved down to Central Florida from New York about 4 years ago, and left what I thought were the absolute worst drivers on the face of the earth. New York drivers are always in a rush. They stop for nothing. They yield for nothing. It's just New Yorkers in general, I think, are just always in a hurry to get where they're going. And as a result of that, the way that manifests in their driving is that if you leave a gap wide enough for a car to get through in New York, they are going to take it. People stop for nothing, wait for nothing, yield to nothing. It's every man for himself. And when I came down here 4 years ago, I realized that here it's quite the opposite. Actually, windy day out there on Lake Monroe. It's quite the opposite. Here, people seem to be a little bit slower, both physically and mentally. Now, Floridians, please do not take offense. I'm sure if you are a competent Floridian living down here, especially if you haven't been born and raised down here, you can completely relate to that. But the thing about it is that it is a bizarre combination down here of people who are in too much of a hurry, people who are in absolutely no hurry and have nowhere to go, and the one thing that they all share in common is this ungodly indecisiveness in everything they do. And I mean in their driving. If I were to take an orange street cone on a nice road like this, wide, one lane either direction, nice and wide, 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. If I were to take an orange cone and put it out here, right in the middle, right on that double yellow line, and left it there, and set up my camera here on the side of the road in a tripod, what we would find when we went back to that video is traffic backed up in either direction for about 2 miles. Take about an hour or so to accumulate that many cars, but that's how bad it is. Drivers here in Central Florida they are just completely thrown for a loop by anything out of the ordinary. The other day I'm on a road similar to this, but actually wider. And on the side of the road there was a 5-gallon bucket. And it was kind of a windy day, and the bucket was all the way off where the asphalt meets the grass. But it was kind of rolling around. It was rolling back and forth because, like I said, it was a little windy that day. I'm following a young girl in her car at a safe distance. I mean, it was 50 mile an hour speed limit in that area, and I would say I was probably about 3 seconds behind her or so. She sees the bucket, and I kid you not, absolutely slams on her brakes. Dead stop. Got to watch this turn here. We got a garbage truck on a blind turn. It's always a dangerous situation. Okay, we're clear from that. If I had been following her closely, say a second or under, I would never have anticipated her decision to slam on the brakes, and I would have wound up rear-ending her. And I really think that that's why, you know, I'm only 30 minutes from Daytona. And it's always fascinating to me, just, not fascinating, that is the wrong word. It's tragic how many accidents there are down here during Bike Week, Biketoberfest, Leesberg, which is about an hour and a half from me. It just seems like anytime there's an event down here, you know, the local media is just flooded with the stories of accidents and fatalities and tragedies of bikers being hit, and they post billboards, and there is a lot of public awareness raised about watching out for motorcycles, but people down here just don't get it. And the scary part is, this girl's decision to slam on her brakes is not unusual for down here. It's typical of the way drivers are. I mean, it's scary to say, but it's true. Yet, if you get them onto the interstate, they drive extraordinarily fast. We have a stretch here of I-4, Interstate 4, that goes between I-95 and State Road 44, and that is a very commonly traveled road during Bike Week. There's no exits in between those two, and it's a stretch of about 13 miles or so. Now, before I started riding a Harley, I rode an R6. I was a sport bike guy. And I used to take that stretch of road quite often. And I kid you not. And if anyone knows this road, I realize I don't have a lot of subscribers right now, so I might not get any feedback on this. But if anyone knows this road, you have to travel, and I am not exaggerating. If you want to remain 5 miles an hour faster than the flow of traffic on I-4 between State Road 44 and I-95, you have to travel between 90 and 95 miles per hour. Because the traffic averages 85 to 90, and here's the thing. I've been down here for 4 years, like I said. I think there have been 2 instances where I've seen a police officer on that road. There is just a complete lack of enforcement, and people know that. I mean, the locals know that and take advantage of it, and they drive extremely fast. And what makes it odd is there's accidents there all the time. I mean, our latest fatality on that 13-mile stretch of road was about 2 weeks ago, and it was an out-of-state couple driving a pickup, and apparently they were cut off, came down found themselves on the median at a high rate of speed, hit the guardrail, and flipped the pickup over onto oncoming traffic, and were killed instantly, from what I understand. And this just happens all the time, and you would think there'd be a greater police presence on the I-4, but there's just not, and I don't know what it is. There's plenty of revenue to be made, and Lord knows Florida never turns down an opportunity to make revenue. But it's just a really dangerous stretch of road. So guys, if you come down here, if you decide to enjoy some of the great things that Florida has to offer, some of our great rallies and our great biker-oriented events, please just have an awareness of the nature of the drivers down here. They are indecisive, and yet they are reckless at the same time, and it makes for a dangerous combination. And I'm not suggesting that drivers are not bad everywhere in the country. I mean, in New York, the drivers I mentioned, it doesn't make them good drivers, the fact that they're in a rush. They are decisive. That's one thing you have to give them. But they are reckless also. But I just find that, you know, I've driven most parts of the country. I've driven, not necessarily ridden, but driven. And I can honestly say, hands down, Florida is the absolute worst I've experienced. In fact, I just read an article in the Orlando Sentinel that stated that Florida is the sixth worst as far as driving goes. Sixth worst in the country. And what's terrifying about that is to think that there are 5 places where it's actually worse than it is here. So just be careful, guys, if you decide to come down. Be aware. You know, leave plenty of following distance, and I know Florida is a no helmet. It's a no helmet state, but I tell you what. When I first started riding down here, I was a no helmet guy. Switched over to a 3/4 after about a year of riding down here when I saw what was going on. And after 4 years, I am in a modular. And even though part of that decision had to do with my ability to vlog better in a modular, you know what, it is just dangerous out here. And I actually, when I put the half helmet on extremely hot days, I don't feel protected anymore. It's just a dangerous place to ride. So that's it, guys, signing out. This is Dawn to Dusk. Hope you also have Good Friday off. Enjoy your day and enjoy your holiday weekend. Bye-bye.